Coming up tonight on YCN News, Town Meeting Day spreads from Windsor to Springfield throughout Vermont. Representatives from U.S. Congresswoman Ann McLean Custer's office will be in Claremont on Wednesday. And two familiar names come up in potential 2016 presidential candidates. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth-Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening, and welcome to this Tuesday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. From Windsor to Springfield and throughout Vermont, today is Town Meeting Day. Voters will go to their respective polls to vote for or against a host of issues or people running for local offices. In some cases, residents supported or not town and school budgets presented Monday night. In Springfield, about $1 million has been cut from the school district's budget, with a dozen or more jobs to be lost. Monday night in the high school cafeteria, residents heard more details of Article 12, the proposed $27.4 million school budget, this amount representing the earlier $1 million cut. Concerns from the audience included the lack of support for Springfield's schools. On the town budget, Article 7 asks residents to spend $10.7 million to fund all services. One resident spoke about the town spending money on road maintenance. It's a waste of money to repair potholes after winter, only to have paving improvements ruined the winter after. Questions on how Article 9 will work also took center stage. Monday night. The article is meant to encourage new home building by granting a $75,000 property tax relief from the home's assessed value. The article applies only to the structure itself, and the building must be either a single-family, primary residence, or part of a working farm. If Article 9 passes today, the $75,000 tax relief will last for 3 years, and the home or farm structure must be built within a year from today. Some residents questioned if Article 9 would also apply to a home remodeling or addition. In Windsor, residents heard good news about their school system. Unlike many other Vermont communities with declining enrollment, more students are attending Windsor School. Residents gathered in the Lois White Auditorium in Windsor High School for the annual school district meeting and report. The meeting began with a general introduction from Vermont reps John Bartholomew and Donna Sweeney, who reminded citizens that the last day to sign up for Vermont healthcare is March 15th. Following Sweeney and Bartholomew was Principal Bridget Farrell to speak about the progress of Windsor schools. In her speech, Farrell noted that the students' population is growing and the schools have added some great opportunities for students. Science classes are being revamped, and Windsor High School is now adding 2 environmental science classes as well as a class on forensics. Dual enrollment classes, which allow students to take college courses for high school credit, are being offered to Windsor students at Vermont community colleges. In the arts, theater is now offered in a combined middle and high school class, and next year, Farrell announced, there will be 2 separate classes for middle and high school students to take theater. One of the goals of Windsor schools, Farrell noted, is to increase volunteering. They hope to have more parents volunteer in the schools, as well as provide students with opportunities to volunteer in the community. Following the principal's speech, board members spoke about the upcoming school budget. Let's take a look from last night with member Carl Malikowski.
We do have a deficit that we're looking to overcome, and we continue to reduce that deficit with the goal of eliminating it by the year 2016 or sooner. I'm glad to tell you that on the track we're at, we will eliminate that deficit by next year. So that's going to have a huge impact on our budget for you folks. And we've done this all by also adding more direct student-focused programs, which are in there. So on to the numbers. Our budget is $9,429,113, which is a 3.1% increase over 2013-14 budget. That results in a 4.8% increase tax rate, or 6.6 cents on $100 of evaluation.
When YCN News returns, we'll hear how New Hampshire residents can receive help in Claremont tomorrow from Congresswoman Ann McLean Custer's office, and what potential 2016 presidential election nominees to look out for.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Continuing with Windsor, Vermont, the annual town meeting was held last night in the high school following the school district report. Representatives from Montpelier, John Bartholomew and Donna Sweeney, returned to the podium for a proclamation to John Tansey, member of the select board who will be retiring. Last night being his last meeting, let's take a look at Tansey's final words from last night.
I headed out the door tonight. My wife asked me, "So, what do you think? It's your last meeting?" And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "What do you expect?" I said, "Well, there's three scenarios. One is that somebody will stand up and say thank you. The other is that nobody will say anything. Or the third is that they'll say, it's not soon enough that he's done." While it hasn't always been popular or easy sitting or standing up here, it's with great satisfaction that I look back at what we, collectively as a community, have been able to accomplish in a relatively short period of time. I'd like to thank Tom Marsh for the super job he's doing as a town manager, and extend my appreciation to my colleagues on the select board, both present and past, for your selfless dedication to the town. The employees of the town regularly deserve our thanks, but they should also be commended for sticking with us through the many ups and downs. And last but by no means least, I want to thank my family. Thank you all. I look forward to staying involved, but I am truly happy to be retiring from the select board.
Following Tansey's speech, the meeting moved on to discuss Articles 8 through 21. Two representatives from Windsor On Air, or WOA-TV, came to speak in regards to Article 16, which seeks to provide money to the station. Let's hear from them now.
Hope that you will support this article. This gives us the financing so that we can bring to you the select board and the school board meetings, and we try to do all kinds of things for the community. And like tonight, the people that aren't able to attend this meeting, we will be broadcasting it all day long tomorrow so that you can watch it before you go and vote. So we hope that you support us, and we're always looking for volunteers or new ideas.
Following closely, Article 17 to support the Windsor Cemetery Association was discussed by Representative Barbara Rhodes. She noted a complaint that the cemetery banks are being used by passers-by to dump trash, old utensils, and other foreign objects, and asked to see about correcting this problem. Article 18, seeking to support the Windsor Public Library, brought a representative from the Board of Trustees to the mic. Representatives from U.S. Congresswoman Ann McLean Custer's office will be in Claremont on Wednesday from 10 a.m. to noon. Area residents who need help working on a range of issues with federal agencies can receive support from one of Custer's staff. The mobile office hours will be held at Claremont City Hall from 10 a.m. to noon. To learn more, call 603-226-1002. Turning to national news, if the names of two potential 2016 presidential election nominees sound familiar, it's for good reason. A poll taken by Henniker, New Hampshire New England College shows that Republican Mitt Romney and Democrat Hillary Rodham Clinton remain in the lead of candidates from both parties. Romney, the 2012 GOP nominee, continues to keep a public presence speaking out on the issues of the day. Among 346 likely Republican voters, Romney picked up 22% of support, compared to 16% for Kentucky Senator Rand Paul and 13% for New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. Other Republicans receiving some support in NEC's poll include, in declining order, Texan Ted Cruz, Florida's Marco Rubio, and 2012 vice presidential nominee Paul Ryan of Wisconsin, and Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker, Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal, and Pennsylvania Senator Rick Santorum. On the Democratic ticket, 318 potential Democratic voters support Hillary Clinton by 60%. Next is Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren with 13%, still higher than current Vice President Joe Biden. This poll does not bode well for the Vice President, says Dr. Wayne Lesperance, Director of the Center for Civic Engagement at NEC. 15% and 19% of respondents respectively say they are unsure the poll's margin of error is about 5 to 5.5%.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now Matt McDonald will have a look at our weather for the next 5 days, and he'll take a look at some local high school sports.
Thanks, Rose. Tomorrow we're expecting snow showers, so be careful when driving. Highs will be in the upper 20s with a low of 3 degrees. Thursday we'll have a high of 29 and lows in the single digits, so be sure to dress warm. Friday we'll have highs in the upper 30s with a low of 16 degrees, and Saturday temperatures are expected to rise up to the 40s with a low of 15 degrees. Sunday we're expecting more snow with a high of 35 and lows in the teens. And now let's look at the northeastern and national radar maps. Now let's look at our community calendar. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., Walpole, New Hampshire Library is holding a preschool story time with crafts and stories for kids to enjoy. That evening, Wilmot, New Hampshire holds a select board meeting at 5 p.m., and Lebanon, New Hampshire holds its city council meeting at 7 p.m. If you're in the Brattleboro area, check out the West African dance class tomorrow night at 7 at the Stone Church. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. And now let's look at the mountain snow conditions brought to you by Ski New Hampshire.
It's Monday, March 3rd, and we're at Black Mountain Ski Area, enjoying a deep base of snow and some of the best conditions in years, thanks to a seriously cold and snowy winter. At this rate, you can plan on enjoying one of the best spring skiing seasons in recent memory. And who knows, maybe we'll have a few more powder days to enjoy. Part of the challenge for our ski areas to offer excellent spring skiing is dealing with the pattern of warm sunny days and cold nights.
Mainly we do most of our grooming in the morning. We try to keep the conditions the best we can for the customers. A lot of times, a lot of other mountains will groom at night, let it set up. We mainly do all our grooming in the morning. So when we're actually coming off the hill, when our skiers are going on, we give them soft conditions. So when you're actually going out there, it's sugar. I mean, it's soft. It's not chatterproof. It's, you know, the best that we can give them.
This is the time of year when ski areas roll out more lift ticket deals to keep you hitting the slopes and trails. This is also the time to get the best prices on 2014 and 15 season passes. Many of those include free skiing for the rest of this season, which is really valuable when we have this much snow stockpiled. Check out our daily ticket deals and season pass page at skinh.com for the latest deals from across New Hampshire. Also, be sure to keep visiting skinh.com for the latest snow conditions, weather forecasts, 4th and 5th grade snow sports passports, events, lodging information, mountain stats, and much, much more. 33 ski resorts. One stop. skinh.com.
And now let's look at the big Sunapee game that happened last night. A lot of people are talking about this one. The Sunapee girls defeated Groveton 49-39. It was a terrific game, showcasing Sunapee's talents. Sunapee started off the first quarter with some weak shooting, which brought them nowhere. Then, Sunapee started to rocket with their scoring. In this play, Sunapee player number 4 makes a 2-point shot very close to the 3-point line, with 5 minutes and 58 seconds left in the first quarter. Then, Sunapee's Erica Waterman begins her amazing 3-point shots of the night. Sunapee gains a quick lead midway through the first quarter because of 2 additional three-pointers from Waterman. She makes 3 in a row. At the end of the first quarter, the score is 18-7 Sunapee. Sunapee maintains a steady lead throughout the second quarter. The score at the end of the second quarter was 27-17, still with Sunapee leading. In the second half, there's a nice steal by Anna Richardson from Sunapee. After some advances by both teams, the score at the end of the third quarter was 35-23. Then in the fourth quarter, Groveton begins to come back. They catch up with the score at 30-35, 5 points behind Sunapee. Groveton's Abby Pelletier helps her team by making this basket. Soon after, Sunapee drives in some quick baskets, making the score 40-30 with help from Waterman. With 1 second left on the clock, Sunapee had a chance to increase their score with 2 free throws. Waterman makes one of the shots, making the final score 49-39. Sunapee will now go to the finals. Congratulations.